Hi guys, it's Caitlin. Today's video is going to be a series I'm not going to finish. Now, some of these might be your favorite series, but personally, I just didn't like them enough to want to continue with them. So I'm just going to get right on into them. The first one is Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia. I read the first one. That's all I read. And I liked it okay. It was decent enough, but not enough for me to want to continue with it. I actually ended up getting rid of all the books by her that I had, just because I just didn't like it. The next one is a pretty big series that I've heard a lot of really good things about. I just don't like it. And that is the Mistborn series, trilogy, whatever you want to call it, by Brandon Sanderson. I read The Final Empire, which is the first book in the first Mistborn trilogy, and I read that like a year ago, and I just have had no desire to even pick up the next one. And I feel really bad because I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and I wanted to love it. I didn't. And I even got the fancy UK paperback editions, and they're gonna have to go because I did not like it at all. The next one is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor. I read the first two, and I liked the first one enough. It was good. The second one was, I just didn't like it, and it just made me not want to finish the series. I mean, I understand that there's only one left in the series, but I just don't want to waste my time. There's so many more books on my shelves that I need to get to that I would rather read over that. So, I'm not going to finish it. The next one is a pretty big one as well, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get mad at me for this, but I'm not going to be finishing the Percy Jackson series. I'm sorry. I read the first three in the Percy Jackson and the Olympus series just to get a feel for Rick Riordan's writing, and he writes decent enough. It's just I don't feel compelled to finish any of his books. I have an entire shelf of books dedicated to Rick Riordan because I thought I was going to love his books, because I've heard tons of really good things about him. But I don't know. I'm probably going to be getting rid of most of them. I might keep a couple that I've heard more things about, like The Hammer of Thor. I absolutely love Thor, so I'm going to probably keep that one and read that. But I think I'm going to be getting rid of the rest of Rick Riordan's books. I'm just not that big of a fan of them. The next one is The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I read the first two in this series, and they were decent. I read them when Glass Sword first came out, so that was like over a year ago because The King's Cage just came out, and I actually bought it because I thought I was going to continue. And when I first started reading King's Cage, I got maybe 5 pages in, and I realized I had no idea what was happening because it had been so long since I read the first two, and I just don't feel compelled to reread the first two books because I didn't think they were good enough for me to reread. So those, I'm probably not going to be finishing those. And then the next one is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I started reading Outlander 6 months ago, maybe, and it took me like over a week to get as far as I did, and I literally made it like 20 pages. I just did not feel like reading it. I don't normally go for historical fictions. It's not one of my favorite things to read. So I ended up DNFing that book, and I don't do that very often, and I'm not gonna finish it. I don't want to finish it. I'm sorry. I actually got rid of these next books also. I got rid of these a long time ago, and that is the Zodiac series by Romina Russell. It's an interesting concept to have the zodiac signs as different planets, I just don't think it was really executed well. I ended up DNFing the first one, Zodiac, because the main character drove me nuts. I don't even remember what I didn't like about her. All I remember is I hated her. I could not stand her, and I did not want to finish that book. I ended up getting rid of them. And the last one is The Passenger Duology by Alexandra Bracken. I actually have both of the books. I read the first one, and it was decent enough for me to want to read the second one. So I bought it, and I started reading it, and I put it down. I don't know if I just wasn't feeling the time travel elements, if it had been so long since I read the first one that I didn't remember what happened. I don't know. I just did not. I'm over it. I'm ready to be done. I don't want to go on reading that. I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up again in the future. I'm not sure. But those are the series so far that I have that I am not going to be finishing. Again, these are series that I personally did not like. I'm not saying that they can't be good series for other people to read. I'm just saying that they personally were not something that I enjoyed or enjoy reading. So I'm not gonna finish them. And that is the end of today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.